Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Underdog Gaming Channel. I'm AJ Gels. Guys, how's it going? We are, back late with the weekly show this week. And no, I don't just have two videos for you today. I do have more. I'm going to be doing this like last week, where I'm going to be doing a couple videos on one game, and then we're going to look at some other news later on. Again, I'm splitting this up for two reasons. One, because if I include these two videos along with the full weekly show, everything would be too long, and for the fact that, I mean, I try and do this early, but I'm late today. There's reasons for that. I was down in Indianapolis yesterday, got back home late tonight. No, wait, late yesterday. I've been sleeping all day. Sorry. Jeez. So I'm going to do this a little bit later. I'll do the weekly show. All that. Sorry, everything's just been a little nutty lately. I'm still at home, getting ready to go back to school. Move back into my own apartment. I'll be doing that not next week, or not this upcoming week, but the week after. So everything will just be a little crazy until then. I'm hoping I can still keep up a normal schedule. All that. Expect to see more Mass Effect Andromeda. I'm really hitting that game hard right now. I really want to finish it up because I know I can if I really just kind of buckle down and play it. So either way, we're going to talk some Assassin's Creed today. This is Assassin's Creed Origins, the upcoming game in late October. I keep saying this. I love Assassin's Creed. Really up for this next one. I have two videos from IGN first. This is IGN. They have, developers and all this. They give you some kind of more in-depth looks at the games. So we have some combat and arena stuff, a deep dive, and an actual 18 minutes of a new mission. Let's see here. Real quick though, I see that I saw this video. I haven't actually seen the video, but right here, it's Assassin's Creed Origins equals the Witcher 3 ripoff, apparently. I'm just gonna throw this out here. Is that necessarily a bad thing? I mean, obviously, if they copy the story and everything, yeah, it's bad. But honestly, if they can nail the actual RPG elements in this game and really kind of hit the quest system that The Witcher 3 had, I don't really see a problem with that. I mean, my big thing with... I love Assassin's Creed, and I really think that if they can actually do real side missions and not just little side activities, real main missions, side missions, the map looks massive, the game looks like they've really kind of overhauled some things. I think this could be really cool, and I think this really could work like The Witcher. Which, so you want to call it a ripoff. I wouldn't necessarily be upset with that. I think it's I think it would work. Again, it would all come down to, can they get the RPG elements, which I don't think they've been doing well with in previous games, but this one's looking better. I mean, the skill tree looks like it makes a lot of sense. It looks simple. It reminds me a lot of an RPG in the sense that Horizon Zero Dawn is. So I really think that's it. I haven't seen the video. I don't know if they're trying to insult or bash this game, but I think that would be a really cool thing if they do end up making Origins like The Witcher. I think that would be really fun. By the way, let's hop in and watch some videos.
When we started this project almost 4 years ago now, we had just finished Black Flag, and we had this intention to say, how can we bring something new to AC? We wanted to modernize AC. We wanted to refresh the experience. And so we set a goal for ourselves to reinvent what it means to be Assassin's Creed. In previous ACs,
All right, I think in a way this is actually the best guy to do it, because people have kind of made fun of AC4 that it wasn't really an Assassin's Creed game. It was a pirate game set in the Assassin's universe, which is kind of true. Yet at the same time, I think they found a way to make an Assassin's Creed game really fit with that time period. The gameplay was amazing. I think that if there is somebody who can really kind of modernize it and really kind of, not modernize, but, you know, kind of advance the series, I really do think it's Ashraf. I think this guy is phenomenal at what he does. I love 4 and all that. I keep saying I can't wait. Can't wait.
The fight system was a paired animation system. What that means effectively is that when you press attack, the character avatar and an enemy would come together, almost regardless of distance, or up to 10 meters almost, play an animation and split apart. And we wanted to move away from that. If we wanted to change fight drastically, we knew we had to move away from that, so we went to a hitbox-based system. What that means is if you press attack, you're going to swing your weapon, and if something's there, it's going to get hit and take damage, and if nothing is there, well, you just swung in open air and maybe you've opened yourself up. All of a sudden what that does is it makes it so that the range of your weapon, the speed of your weapon, the position of the enemies and their loadout, their equipment, all of a sudden all of this matters. The player has 2 base attacks. The light attack, which is just a standard combo that you can unleash to do damage, and the heavy attack, which you can actually combo with the light attack. The additional element of the heavy is that it can break the defense of an enemy. So if a shield is up, you can break that. If you charge it, you can put them on the ground. Enemies that are on the ground or enemies that you can get behind their back, you do bonus damage to them. From a defensive standpoint, you have a shield, which will protect you in the front, but not your back. So you have to pay attention to where the enemies are. You have a dodge to actually allow you to escape when you are completely surrounded. And the dodge you can stack up to 3 times before needing to recover from that. And you can also parry with a shield. So if you can time a perfect parry, it also stuns an enemy that allows you to do bonus damage. All these actions that you can do, they build up what we call an adrenaline meter. And as you build adrenaline, it allows you to unleash devastating attacks. So each weapon has its own unique set of attacks. Sometimes it's a singular attack, sometimes it's a chain of attacks, sometimes it's what we call Fury mode, which is a session where you have 10 seconds to unleash hell on your enemies. And Bayek is effectively raging and letting loose.
See, I think what he said about taking it and bringing in more of a hitbox system as opposed to the pirate system, when it comes to combat, I think that's something that Assassin's Creed has been needing for quite a while. I think they tried to do something with that come Assassin's Creed Unity, I think it was. They tried it. It didn't work well. From what I'm seeing, this looks a lot better. This looks more like The Witcher. And again, I'm going to keep making this comparison because I think that's actually probably the right decision. It is more in the vein of an action game rather than what Unity did. Unity tried to do like a weird rock, paper, scissors kind of thing, which worked. It just wasn't always the best for multiple enemies. But again, the combat in this looks so much better, and I think it, especially because I've always said I love arenas in video games, but that's because I love gladiators and all that. But I think it actually is going to make an arena interesting in Assassin's Creed for the first time, because we had the fight clubs in Syndicate, but the problem with the fight clubs were it's just combat against, you had to throw multiple enemies at you, because a one-on-one fight is just mash the attack button to drop the opponent, or just sit and wait and counter. So I think this, with the more hitbox-based system, parries and dodging and everything, I think is going to work much well. And again, I'm going to keep harping on this. It's going to move the franchise forward, make it a little bit more of a serious game.
Man shows no mercy.
For melee weapons, we have 8 categories, and they play with 3 gameplay pillars effectively. It's range, speed, and the power, the damage of the weapon. As an example, the dual swords, this is by far the fastest set of weapons we have in the game. They're able to unleash a crazy amount of damage over time because of their speed, but they have super short range, where the Spirit's really about range and it's decent damage, but it's not the fastest weapon in the game. And this one, it's really about area of effect. You know, are you surrounded by enemies? Do you want to use the whirlwind attack of the Spear to push them away and create some space for you? And then we have our ranged weapons, so our bows. And here we have four categories of weapons, and each category has a ton of different attributes and properties, but effectively we have our warrior bow, which is kind of like a shotgun. You shoot multiple arrows at the same time. Bad for distance, but really good for up close enemies. Then we have the rapid fire bow, which is kind of like an Uzi or a very fast pistol. You know, if a guy has a shield up and you just want to bring his shield down very quick, you know, shoot him in the foot, shoot him in the head, he'll drop a shield, and then you can go in with your melee weapon. We have the Predator bow, which is our sniper, and then the Hunter bow, which is a more classic bow type. And then within them, you have the RPG elements that come in, so attributes, properties, damage, and stats, and so on. When we get into the attributes of weapons and so on, having a poison-tipped spear is a...
See, right there, you saw that headshot, and you're seeing the bow mechanics right here. I talked about this back at E3. And again, I'm gonna bring up Horizon Zero Dawn. It reminds me so much of Horizon Zero Dawn, which I think is great, because I think Horizon Zero Dawn did bow mechanics very well. But also back to the RPG elements of the actual weapons. Again, I'm seeing a lot of Assassin's Creed Unity. You know, a lot of trying to fix because I think Unity tried to step forward and was a massive misstep, and then Syndicate was a much more traditional AC game. So I think they're trying to take the misstep. I think Ashraf and the team, what they're doing is they're doing with Origins what they did with 4 compared to 3. You know, I think 4 took some of the missteps of 3 and turned it into a fantastic game. So I think they're doing that with Origins. They're taking the missteps of Unity and turning it into a fantastic game. God, I think this is going to be really good. And again, it's optimism. It's everything. I really think so. I really like that idea that it's RPG elements, not just in our... Sorry, I keep coughing. It's RPG elements not only in our skills, but in our weapons. The fact that they have, you know, DPS and everything, you know, your speed, your range, everything like that. But you also have to take into consideration the actual added attributes. I think that's going to be, it's just going to add an extra layer to combat.
A very different behavior than, let's say, dual swords that can do bleeding damage, where you can hit a guy a few times and bounce out of there and let the bleeding do its thing afterwards. If you want a strong combat system and
right there, they showed something about that earlier, like that fight in that grass. Again, combat in this game is so fascinating to me, because I think it's not just the combat itself. I really like this one. You actually have to take into consideration where this combat is occurring, because right there you can't. It's kind of hard to see your enemy. In a previous section, they showed somebody kind of hiding in the grass and slashing at you with swords. Again, this is some of the most in-depth combat I've seen. I know I keep repeating it. I'm just so interested. I'm so excited. This is so. I feel like I'm just shilling for this game, and I'm not trying to. I'm just trying to point out things that I caught that I really like, and I find that a very interesting concept, because you don't see that a lot in games. A lot of melee games, you don't see environment really affecting combat, and this one, I think that's what it looks like. That's what they're shooting for.
A long life of an RPG, you need a lot of challenge. You need a lot of types of enemies that can help the player really learn and master the fight system. We have a plethora of enemies. Within that, we try to have this essence of, can we make fights more unique? Can we make fights have a feeling of like almost a boss fight, even with the general enemies? And this is where we get into unique archetypes. We have variations of brutes, but effectively these are really big guys, very slow but very damaging. You don't want to be standing in front of these guys. You want to be able to get behind their back. So wait for them to make a mistake. Wait for them to take a swing, get behind their back, and then you can do a lot of damage on their back. Another enemy archetype is what we call the super. These are kind of commanders. These are elite soldiers, if you will. When they're fighting, when they're around, the other soldiers around will actually back off a bit. They'll cheer them on. They'll try to encourage their own commander. They'll still fight if you get close to them, but the idea is they show respect to this guy. You want to trick them to feel like they have an opening to get you, and then wait for them to commit to something, or use your bow to stagger them. Then we have guys like the Predators. The Predators are awesome. These guys are almost like what it would be to face an assassin. These guys use smoke bombs. They try to hide inside cover. They don't want to face you directly. That's not their strength. Their strength is to hit and run. So they really try to stagger the player to corner him, to go around and get to his back. And these are the base enemies that we have. These guys are there to help you learn the fight system, to start mastering weapons, so that you can eventually start facing the ultimate challenges of the game, which are bosses.
Your mother taught me this one.
From the beginning of this project, we wanted to have epic boss fights. We have them in the main quest line, side quests, optionally just roaming in the world. It was a very important goal for us to achieve. We really pushed ourselves and the...
This might be a weird thing, but again, I'm kind of thinking back to The Witcher here. And right there, you said, you know, just random, like, these boss fights just kind of hanging out in the world. Does anybody think that there might be, like, a bounty system, kind of like hunting monsters in The Witcher? Again, I'm talking about The Witcher like they're comparable, you know, like they're trying to copy this thing. But maybe we might see kind of like a bounty system where there's these bosses that are kind of living out in the world that you might take them out and then go and grab bounty and say, oh yeah, I already killed this guy or whatever. I don't know. As a guess, maybe it would be interesting to see it. There's no whatever complete, just, you know, off the top of my head, I think that would be interesting.
How far we can go with boss fights as the ultimate challenge of our combat system.
Excuse me.
There's two main purposes to the arenas. From the initial standpoint was that they existed in Egypt during this time, so the Greeks had brought them into Egypt, and so we felt, okay, this is a super cool activity that naturally enhances our combat system and our intentions of having boss fights. And two, it was a place that we felt we can really dedicate a true fight challenge, something that we can really handcraft, you know, bosses, waves of enemies, and so on. We didn't want it to just be an activity in the world. We wanted it to be something that made sense for Bayek to be a part of. And so the initial introduction of the arenas is through the main quest line. And as a player, if you like this type of activity, if you want the rewards and the weapons and the outfits that come from Gladiator arenas, it's optionally there for you. So there are multiple arenas in the world. They start from these really small, tight, very busy and noisy little areas to grand coliseums, to something that's much more epic and grand. Sometimes you fight with specific weapons we give you. Other times you might only have a bow at your disposal in the arena. You know, it's always pits, traps, animals are sometimes used. The idea is that we're always crafting a unique fight challenge that leads you up to a unique boss. And with the unique bosses, we've put a lot of effort to make sure that they really stand out. They have a personality. Sometimes they're super aggressive. They love being out in front of the crowd. You know, blood spilling everywhere. They love that. Other times the bosses are much more subdued. We wanted to make sure that the bosses felt unique and it was exciting. We want players to play these bosses. We don't want people to ignore them. We put a lot of effort to making them really shine. And of course, there's awesome rewards. We had a very deep urge to bring something new, something that was versatile, that was highly impactful, something that was dynamic, something new to our fans who have been with us for a very long time, and exciting them. And I sincerely hope that with Assassin's Creed Origins, that we do deliver that fresh new experience that respects our fans, respects the lore, but feels very different.
Thanks for watching. If you like what you saw, be sure to check out 18 minutes of Assassin's Creed Origins side quest gameplay. And stick around.
Sorry. My voice is a little scratchy right now. There will be links if you wanna watch these on your own down in the description. I keep saying it, man. I keep saying it. Cannot freaking wait for this game. I love Assassin's Creed. I love what it looks like they're doing with this one. Let's get right in. Let's keep watching.
Hey everyone, Brandon here. I'm joined by Ash Ismail, the game director of Assassin's Creed Origins. We're going to be taking a look at a side quest called What's Yours Is Mine, and Ash is going to be walking us through it.
Yeah, it's super cool to be able to show off this side quest. Just in terms of context, we're at the Giza Plateau, near the Great Pyramids of Giza.
Yeah, you can see them right there on the side.
They're awesome, super cool location. We're about halfway through the game. Around this point is when you're able to be in this area.
Yeah, and just so you know, we're going to be doing some cuts. There's one right about here. because this is one of the longer, or a long side quest, and we really want to trim it down.
Yeah, a lot of our side quests, they range from, 15 minutes to a half an hour, so we've shortened this one.
Perfect.
Wake up.
Wake up. Wake up. What luck you're all right. Here, stand up. Damn, I thought you were lying on it.
Lying on what? What happened?
My notes. I'm a geographer. Cortesius, nice to meet you. Looks like we were attacked. They emptied my pockets. Took my notes too. You might want to check your pouch. You too? I should have known better than to travel the desert on my own. I'm going to find those thieves. They ought to pray to all their gods that my notes are undamaged.
We're lucky enough to be alive. What do you remember?
Remember, I was clubbed in the head. I only recall the sound of a horse galloping away.
There might be tracks. Stay here.
Alright, this might be a small nitpick here. I do that a lot. Again, the facial animations just look so stiff right now. I really hope that gets fixed. No, I mean, I'm not saying I need it to look like a human face when I talk. It's just something about... And again, recall me playing Horizon Zero Dawn. I called this out. It's like, the only part of the face that moved was the bottom part, was the jaw. Everything else didn't move when it talked, didn't have any kind of expression. It kind of looked like a puppet. It creeps me out a little bit. And it's one of those things. It's just like I see it and I notice it and I can't unnotice it. I don't know. But again, right here.
So we're not going
work
to
in
really talk
progress.
over the dialogue so you guys can hear it unfold. But right now it looks like we're on the trail of a thief.
Yeah, exactly. So we've met a Greek cartographer. His stuff has been stolen. Some of Bayek's stuff has been stolen. Here what we're seeing some bandits who happen to be near the tracks that we're following. But these guys are actually just living their life. These guys have a camp nearby. During the day, they come and ambush people coming by here. We're gonna bypass them and go continue on with the quest. But effectively, the world is really living, and we wanted to assume that even during the quests, that you can engage with it or not. Right now, we're looking. We've reached the end of the tracks, and we found this little complex area, and Senu is helping us find our objective. So we know we're looking for something in that general direction. So here we've entered an investigation zone. Here we've used an Animus Pulse to try to find clues. And in this
sort
case,
of pings items of interest.
Exactly.
Yeah. It is dangerous.
I'm just finding things for Anta. What are you doing here?
I'm a Magi, looking for some thieves who came this way. Did you see anyone?
No. No one.
Are you here alone?
No, yes, alone.
That is a dirty little boy.
Egypt was a difficult place. It was a tough place.
Yeah.
So yes, the Animus Pulse, it's used for comfort. It's to also highlight clues that are behind walls. You can see it through walls. It's to give a bit more comfort to this kind of gameplay.
So here you exited the investigation area.
Yep.
But generally in old Assassin's Creeds, when you left an area of interest, sometimes that would prompt you to return or go back. Is that not the case this time?
No, we've because we're going with the quest structure, because we have a world that's really alive and big, we wanted to make sure that all the frictions of you've left a zone or you've been detected, these are...
Right, this is again, I know this is a very simple cosmetic kind of comment. Not a cosmetic in what I was talking about earlier, but a cosmetic in the sense that this is again an extension of something that we saw in Unity, and we saw a little bit in Syndicate if you played the Dreadful Crimes. Like the little investigation areas where you're solving small little mysteries. Again, that was a big part. That was a side thing in Unity, and there's also a side thing in Syndicate. I think that was only if you had it on PS4 though. But again, this is just an advancement of that. Like you could leave the area and come back, but again, I like how this is, as opposed to like just little mysteries itself. This is part of side missions. I really like the fact that this game has just flat out side missions and not little side activities. I mean, I'm sure, it has stuff like the arena and whatnot, but I do like how there's small dedicated narrative side quests.
They're not conditions that fail quests or missions. So if you're in the middle of this investigation and you happen to see a target from a nearby quest come by,
Yeah.
and you decide, okay, I want to finish that quest now because my target is there, you can do that. And you can come back right to this step of this quest without ever missing a beat. So the game doesn't reset itself.
That's such a nice improvement.
It is odd for a child to be playing here, no?
Oh, what do you mean?
I'm looking for some stolen items. Looks like you could help me.
I don't know what you're talking about.
My child, you are not at fault. I am here to help.
We hid it in Menkaure's pyramid. I'm sorry. We had to do it for Anta.
I am sure Anta is a good friend. But Giza is no place for such foolishness.
So it looks like we're looking for someone named Anta.
Yeah, we're still looking for the stuff that was stolen, and we kind of been given a hint that we need to go to the smallest of the Great Pyramids.
Oh wow, this is the smallest one.
This one's the smallest one, and one thing we tried to do is be very respectful of the architecture that we know exists.
Yeah.
So you'll see that for all the known tombs and pyramids, that they actually really respect the architecture.
I talked about this either in a gameplay video or something. I was just kind of talking. I got onto this, how it looked like they'd removed handholds from this game. I mean, right there you saw them. They were those lines. You know, you could obviously climb up into that area. But I have seen gameplay, and I want to bring this up here just because I guess it kind of fits, that you can climb things without handholds. It just kind of has to make, like, I've seen him climb fences and walls and like kind of like rock faces that it kind of looks like they'd be natural, but like they're not having them very accentuated, very this is an obvious handhold. You know, I really like that. I think it makes building the world, it makes it look good. It's kind of, you have to use your brain of not just, oh, that's a handhold, of, well, does it track that I could climb this, you know, surface?
Architecture. Of course, we add our own, you know, hidden
of
chambers,
course,
things
yeah.
that have not been discovered yet.
Little secrets.
Of course. But we try to respect what is known already. Here, Bike's going to pull out a torch. Torches are not unique to pyramids or tombs. You can actually pull it out whenever you want. You can even pull it out, drop it on the ground, use it to light your arrow on fire.
Really?
Yeah. It's very systemic. You can do whatever you want. You can throw it to create distractions with the guards.
So it's not just to get through dark places. It's kind of like a utility tool as well.
We see it as a tool and a weapon. You can fight with it even. There's a lot you can do with a torch.
That's awesome.
So here, we're inside the tomb. We're still looking for somebody or our stuff. But tombs are also places where there's, you know, Bake says it here. He's asking for forgiveness for taking this kind of stuff.
Yeah, I mean, this is a holy place.
Exactly, but he needs it for his journey. Here we found a rare weapon, and we're just about to equip that. So this is a scepter, a rare scepter. We have a lot of rarities with equipment and so on.
This is our pyramid!
Hey, you've got quite the swing. Just how many of you are there?
Only my brother, sister, and I. Don't harm them. I'm the one responsible.
I want the note you stole from the Greek geographer you knocked out.
We've given everything to the bandits from the hills west of the Hemon tombs. They have Anta too, and won't give her back unless we steal for them.
Who is Anta?
Our protector. We were going back to Memphis when they took her. If we don't do as they say, they will kill her.
Bandits who profit from children. Nekatiadets. Get your siblings and stay out of sight. You have my word. I will return Anta to you.
Here we're going to exit the tomb and continue on this journey, but this is what people can expect from these types of side quests. This is an optional side quest. This level of quality in terms of storytelling, character building, using epic locations in the world to tell these stories. If you come back to this tomb, you will find that set up there. You didn't have to be in the quest to have all that stuff be there for you.
Oh wow, okay. And I noticed there was a location objective as well. You know, each area of interest has their own objectives to complete?
Exactly. Outside of quests, there are other objectives to achieve. Here we're going to a camp, to a cave.
Yeah.
Bandit camp area. We can see a sandstorm coming. Now, this sandstorm wasn't scripted to be there or anything. It's really the world is alive.
Really?
Yes, because we're in the deserts, sandstorms are quite active. They do have an effect on detection. So guards who are
stealthier and
exactly, you can be a lot stealthier inside. But here we're going into interior, so the sandstorm will just pass over us.
Oh, okay. You see a guy hanging from the tree there. That's not great.
Yeah, these are bandits. So here again, we're using Senu to scout and help us find some enemies.
Real quick before we get into this, I want to talk about one thing, and that was when he was inside the tomb. They were talking about kind of like location objectives, you know, for all these like kind of landmarks. There's like small little location objectives. You saw him kind of look at those hieroglyphics on the wall. I'm not sure what is, you know, because you hear Bayek say the treasure of the ancients. I don't know. Maybe there's going to be some sort of treasure hunt or something in this that you find a bunch of these and it leads to an area. I guess again, there's absolutely no how to put it. There's no inside knowledge on that one. That's just a theory I'm putting out. You know, I don't get what his hover mode. He's a bird. They can't do that, can they? Do I just not know
But
my
as
bird?
we venture into the cave, we won't be able to take advantage of Senu, so we'll have to do his own scouting inside the cave.
I see. So you're marking them now so you can see them inside.
Exactly. Here you can see by aiming at an enemy, we telegraph the amount of damage you'll do.
Oh, wow,
So by
okay.
moving the cursor to the head, you're doing headshot,
Yeah.
so more damage. And you can see that ahead of time, so you can actually know if you're going to stay in stealth or not. Yeah, we've got some of the legacy stuff, like, you know, the haystack is a very convenient
Yeah.
place to dive into.
Oof.
Yeah,
That guy.
nice headshot
Yeah.
there. So localized damage is something that's important in the combat system. You know,
So I really like how you can pop out of the haystack and shoot. It's not just, you can use your tools and weapons while in stealth, while, you know, you're popping out of the haystack, this, that. Again, just a really interesting way to take what's old and make it a little new.
headshots, attacking
I've been saying
enemies,
interesting a lot, I'm
on their
sorry.
back or when they're on the ground. All of this stuff has multipliers of damage.
I see. Okay. And it's important for staggering enemies too, right? Like an enemy with a shield, you need to be able to stagger him in order to make him vulnerable.
Exactly. Enemies have different size shields that have different properties, so you do have to deal with them. Here we're being a little bit more sneaky, using archery and using assassinations to take out some enemies. Here you can
Oh
see a
wow,
little
is that
bit
in
of
slow motion?
Yeah, you can see some slow-mo. It's an ability that you can gain, which is when you get a headshot with the bow and you keep your bow out, you have slow motion to help you get another headshot. And
Oh.
you can chain that, actually.
Awesome.
Here we'll see a bit of that again here, except we'll, instead of shooting the guy in the head, we'll, there was a handy jar of oil next to a fire that burned him down.
How convenient.
Here, for all these types of setups and locations, you see that we really try to reinforce all the different play styles. Here we use verticality
Right.
for either archery reasons or for stealth reasons.
Stealth, yeah, but you
Nothing
can just
stops.
you can just run in here, swords ablazing if you want to, right?
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly. We
Sorry. Some I saw was back at E3, and we saw it there when he snuck up behind the guy to use the hidden blade for an assassination, or I guess not assassination, but, you know, stealth kill. We learned this at E3. That is not a guarantee anymore, because now you can upgrade your hidden blades and get better blades, which will end up doing more damage to certain enemies. But there are some enemies that if they're, you know, like at too high of level, or your blades aren't upgraded, or, you know, you haven't been upgrading your blades, you might not get a kill, but you'll do some heavy damage to it. So again, we're keeping what's old, but we're bringing it new, and we're trying to integrate it within this new combat system.
Every location is set up to support ranged combat, melee, or stealth. And here we found Anta.
Oh hey, it's Anta.
Of course.
Not who I was expecting.
You're Anta, their protector.
So here we always play with side quests from a narrative perspective to create surprise, have a bit
Yeah.
of fun. The tone of the game can be serious sometimes, but we also like to have fun with it. Here, just something quickly to say is that we do have puzzles. Sometimes you can come into these locations and find puzzles.
Oh, yeah.
We're going to skip ahead of this puzzle because we don't want to ruin the gameplay surprise of it.
Fair enough.
But here you can kind of see that there's a bit of physics involved. We've now gone past the puzzle into the hidden area.
Look at all that treasure.
Yeah, look at all that loot.
Cool statue of a crocodile.
Yeah, this is the god Sobek, one of the gods that these bandits worship. And in these types of hidden locations, sometimes you find these old stelas that have an ancient knowledge on them that actually, when you interact with it, you gain an ability point. This is one way of gaining ability points.
Outside of just leveling up.
Exactly, outside of just leveling up.
That's awesome. So there's incentive to really delve into these tombs and explore and find stuff.
Exactly, and it's also to show that there are more ability points than there are levels. You can continue gaining ability points way past leveling up.
Oh, wow.
We want players to either delve deep into one direction or spread themselves out as they want, create the hybrid character they want.
Yeah.
So here we're exiting the tomb. We're going to see a little bit of fight here.
Okay.
And a bit of
Yeah,
chaos.
'cause they're on
a bit of
hay, it'll
chaos with fire.
spread.
Oh, I like, so that hay actually catches on fire.
Yep, for sure, for sure. You can use that to your advantage by paying attention to where the enemies are located and so on. And of course, it's handy to leap into it.
Oh yeah, of course.
So here we show off a bit of fight and something for people to know. I think it'll be a surprise for people who are very well aware of AC and AC combat.
Right.
That you can attack and it's not a paired animation system anymore. It's not two characters playing a perfectly synced animation. We have hitbox-based combat now.
Yeah.
Which means that you have to pay attention to where's the enemy, how far away from me are they, the range of my weapon.
Yeah, the days of standing in a crowd of guys and just countering with Y are kind of over now. I mean, the combat system looks totally revamped.
Exactly. This was an intention we had from the beginning to really bring something new, something that's versatile, dynamic, highly impactful. Something that requires a lot more paying attention from the player and something that has gameplay depth.
Right.
So here we see enemies that use shields, use spears, use swords.
And there's standard soldier types, and then there's the stronger types.
Exactly. You really have to pay attention to the way they behave, the way they use their own weapons. Sometimes they have area effect attacks. Sometimes, if an enemy has a shield, you have to figure out how to get past the shield or to break his defense. These are the questions we want players to be asking themselves in the middle of a combat situation. What is my specific weapon at this moment good for? What is it weak at? Every weapon has its strengths and weaknesses, and,
right.
and this is again part of the depth that we wanted. Every time you find a new weapon type, that you have to learn how this weapon works. So now that we've kind of done with the fight, we're going to move on and continue helping Enta reach his kids.
Back to the kids, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Anybody catch that buzzard that was now eating the corpse of somebody you just killed not too long ago? I don't know why I had to bring that up. It just interested me. God, I know I keep using that word. I'm losing my mind.
I told you to stay out of sight.
I know, but this was our fault, and we thought you could use some help. The horseman is much, much bigger than you.
Horseman?
You haven't seen him? He's the most harrowing of them all. Big and strong. He's the one who took Anta.
He might have Cortesios' notes. Probably using them to locate treasures.
I have seen him in the ruins around Khufu's pyramid.
I will take care of this horseman. You should leave. Now. You know your way back. I should have a look around the pyramids. I can finally find those notes.
So here, this is an element, it's part of the new AI system we have. Effectively, this guy really has an agenda in the world. He's going around Giza, terrorizing, attacking people, but at night he goes back to that cave we were just in, and he sleeps in there. So you can actually wait for him in there, you can meditate to change the day to night, to assassinate him inside, or go after him as we do right now. It's really up to the player's choice. Those kids that were walking off, you can find them later. They keep walking, they go to their destination in real time. you can meet up with them after.
So like the kids and the horsemen and the bandits we saw at the beginning, like everybody has their own cycle, their own day-to-day thing that they do.
Exactly. They have needs. You know, they need to work. They need to sleep. They need to go to the bathroom. Seriously.
Oh.
And then the horseman looks like it's one of these, stronger enemies with a little bit more danger to them.
Exactly. So we can see that, you know, it's the shield and sword he has. He's much more defensive. Going up to him and just slashing your sword it won't work. You have to figure out how to trip him up, how to get him on the ground, how to make him commit to a move where he makes a mistake, and that's where you take your advantage.
Oof. Yeah. Brutal advantage.
So here we go. So we found the boss of us. We found the notes that we were looking for, and now we'll go back and complete this step.
Excuse me. Right there, it said that confirm kill thing. Again, part of me feels like that might give some credence to my theory that there might be like bounties and living bosses out there in the world. I don't know. I don't know. Again, total speculation. Would be really cool.
This quest. Again, to keep in mind that this is the level of quality people can expect, and we have hundreds of quests like this.
My notes! Jesus, I can't believe it! I owe you my life.
Is it over? Are the bandits gone?
And they won't bother you anymore. So you can stop bludgeoning people over the head now.
Are these the thieves?
Easy, friend. There was a misunderstanding. Their hands were forced. And these kids need a safe passage back to Memphis, right?
Yes, to the house of Neff, with all the other children.
I have not yet mapped out Memphis. It was supposed to be my next stop. Do you know the way?
No, but they know their way around.
What luck! Come along, then.
Memphis?
Ah, yeah. Of course! Thank you.
Come visit us.
I would add that this is a work in progress quest. We're in the last stage of really pushing this game, but this is the kind of quality people can start expecting out of side quests, optional content. We have hundreds of these types of quests where we tell, you know, serious stories, funny stories, using the world to its advantage.
That's awesome, man. Thank you so much for sharing this with us and walking us through it. That was the What's Yours Is Mine side quest from Assassin's Creed Origins. You can find a lot more coming up all month long with our IGN First, and for more Assassin's Creed, keep it right here on IGN.
Thanks for watching this.
I keep saying it, guys. I cannot wait for this game. I'm so pumped. I love Assassin's Creed. I'm a giant nerd, I know. But again, that was that was a bit of a deeper look into Assassin's Creed Origins, guys. This game comes out October. Why am I opening a new tab? October. God damn, is it in the? Not that I can see. I want to say it's October 22nd. I could be totally wrong on that one. But I'm pretty sure that's around when it is. It's late October. I can't wait. You can find the Let's Play right here. I'll be doing a written review. I'll be doing all my usual stuff. Yes, I plan on getting back into some written reviews. I plan on kind of getting back into that. I'm planning on writing something up for the first episode of Batman. I just, again, have not had time to sit down and actually type. I still want to write something up for Persona 5, Prey, and Mass Effect Andromeda, but I'm probably, I don't know. I still haven't decided. And again, it all comes down to my mood and when I sit down at a computer. But I do promise this, it's part of my day job is also to write these reviews, and I'm gonna get back into it. And I'm actually, I'm gonna really kind of get back into it. And if you're interested in that kind of stuff, you can find it over on my website, Minds, Facebook, Twitter, all those social media platforms are down in the description. Also, all my videos go up there too. Facebook, Twitter, well, I already said that, and just in a different way. Like, comment if you're not already, please subscribe to the channel. There we go. Thanks for watching, everybody. Later tonight, the rest of the more news article-y kind of show, you know, the kind of the typical format, that'll be up later tonight. Thank you for watching, everybody. Until next time, I'm AJ Gales, this is the Undead Game Channel. I'm out.